So it's been a while since I've uploaded anything to this channel. Um, just want to talk about just a lot of shit in life right now, and yeah. Right now, what I want to talk about is just how much space it seems like is between communications between people. I'm noticing looking around like everybody just seems like they're so spaced out or focused on themselves, and they're not worried about being around people or trying to make, genuine connections and shit like that. Plus with what you're seeing in the dating epidemic and all that. And I think, you just have to adjust, especially as a man or a younger man. You have to adjust. You need to try to figure out where you can be happy with yourself, and that sounds kind of corny, I know, but like, I mean that shit genuinely. Like, become happy with just being around yourself, not worrying about other people, not desiring or being desperate for their attention or their love or any type of connection with them. That's not to say don't have the connection if it's there, but just saying don't be like trying to clutch for it or squeeze too tightly, because that's usually when you lose things in life. I've always followed the philosophy that you need to love things with open palms, and a open wide hand grip, so that way if it chooses to leave, it chooses to leave. And I feel like a lot of people right now are just going through massive waves of depression with the lack of just a social life and being social. I mean, shit, you look around, it's so expensive to live, and that's even for higher earners. I do pretty decent financially, but it's hard. I mean, you see gas going up, groceries, everything. Houses are unaffordable. You know what I mean? If you're Gen Z or below, like you, it might be over for you. You might be cooked. And that's just a reality of life. And I'm hoping that there might be a bubble type crash in housing in the future, something that kind of is reminiscent of 2008. But I don't know, because it seems like everything just keeps getting kicked on down the road, and it seems like people just kind of mule away and just let everything go and just go and just go. And I feel like the government obviously doesn't really want housing to crash neither. I know Trump was talking about that not long ago, and he said like you got to protect the investments of the homeowners. This was sometime last year in a press conference, and it's funny because, you know, for all the older generations who got in early, it's a first mover advantage, is what they'll call it. It's kind of just like, anything back in the day, like people who jumped on the wave of like YouTube first, selling on Amazon first, TikTok first. That's what first mover advantage is. So older generations, they got access to all the cheaper homes before they got overly inflated and way overvalued and overpriced for what they actually are, what they actually give you. And you can look around and you can see a $750,000 3 bedroom, 2 bath house, and you just know that it's overpriced. It's not worth that much. And I think that's another holdup, is not only, things being tight financially, people getting squeezed, but even if people do have the money, they're like, why would I even want to buy this house now and take a loss? Like, what happens if I forfeit some of the value or the value goes down? But that point aside, the main thing I want to talk about in this video is just, yeah, like the lack of social life, social dynamics. You see it all the time. Like, I go around, I have a friend circle personally, and I don't see them too oftenly. They all have multiple responsibilities, and that's stuff that they have to take care of as grown men, and I respect it. But it definitely does suck to grow apart from old childhood friends, but like, that's life. That's something that I had to not only accept years ago, but I grew comfortable actually just spending more time alone. And that's not to say that I still don't go around certain people, or I might not see my closest friends that oftenly, but I still see people. I still see friends or people I might go out and party with or drink with, but I understand that I'm gonna just do what's best for me in that moment, and I'm going to enjoy my life the way that I need to enjoy it. I'm not gonna be desperate or for begging for time from my friends. Not that they won't give it to me, it's just that it's pre-obliged to their responsibilities and their obligations, which is okay. And that's okay. That's acceptance. Something that you need to accept in life is that it's okay that you might not see your friends that much, you know? And for people listening to my channel, specifically younger guys, because I used to be a younger guy, it's gonna happen where you fall away from friends, and it's never doesn't always mean it's a bad thing, but you just gotta prepare to, spend a little bit more time alone compared to what you spent back in your schooling days with your friends, and not seeing them as oftenly. And as they grow, they get girlfriends, wives, kids, it becomes extremely difficult to see these friends. And it's not even just, like I said, like with certain responsibilities that they may have, but it's just schedules. Even you, like, even if you don't have kids and they have a kid or two, let's say you're working full time, then you work a part time job on the side to try to save up more money, invest more, or, try to knock down debts or just up your budget so you can live a little bit better, enjoy yourself a little more. It takes time. That's time out your life to work to go to your job. And when you're at your job, you're not going to be able to meet up with them. What if they're off? Well, obviously, there's a misconnect there. You're not going to be able to, my bad, a disconnect there. You're not going to be able to see them when they're off and then you have to work, or vice versa. And I've ran into that many times. I've lost count. Like, it's to the point nowadays when I do make plans to hang out with certain people, I put stuff in a calendar, in an app on my phone. And it's funny because one of my other guy friends is like, yo, I have to do this. Like, my life is so busy, so hectic, I do the same. And I'm like, that's crazy. I often wonder, looking back, like, I don't know. I don't know if I look back during both of my grandfather's times, if like that's how hectic and busy their lives were. Not to say that they weren't doing stuff. They had families. Both my grandfathers had pretty sizable families, but I feel like you made enough on one income. You know what I mean? I feel like you worked one job, and let's say you brought home like $700 a week, maybe even a little less. That 700 went way farther than it goes now. Shit, you could make 1400 a week, and you still feel like you're stretching your dollars thin. You're like, I don't understand how I make 1400. I make double what my grandfather made, but it doesn't matter because the money has devalued. And I think that plays a part into it, where it's like we have to go so much harder, work so much harder, do so much more just to even do the bare minimum or the basics of survivability in today's economy, which is okay. That's what you have to do. You have to grow, you have to learn, mature, build yourself up. But it's hard because when it's like there's moments where you're working 60, 70 hours a week and you might not be seeing people that oftenly, it probably gets daunting sometimes in your mind, and you're like, shit, this sucks. Like, I don't know how else to put it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna BS nobody or sugarcoat anything. It's just that's the truth. And I want people out there to know, like, there is a light to some extent at that tunnel. If you might not be able to relieve some stress by meeting up or seeing friends, go for a walk in a park nearby you, or like a nature walk or a trail or hike, or it could even be playing a video game. But these days I'd recommend more so getting outside, getting some sunlight on you, on your skin, make you feel a little bit better, take care of your mental health a little more. Definitely be as physically fit as you can too. But yeah, to end this video, like I said, light at the end of the tunnel, or multiple lights throughout the whole tunnel through your journey. Don't let nothing phase you or feel like, damn, like this is it. It's over for me. You know what I mean? Feel like I keep seeing content online about it's over. We're so cooked. It's over. We're so cooked. Um, it's the end of the line, the end of the rope, whatever. So many different type of ways to say that. I just get tired of seeing it, you know? And I get that you need to be realistic. I'm a very realistic person, but like the negativity aspect of it. And I have negative moments about myself, I'm not gonna lie. I might even post some negative stuff when I feel like getting stuff off my chest or whatever. But it's like, yo, when you really break it down, you really think about it, that whole it's over, I'm so cooked mindset, even if you don't even have a social life at all, not a friend in sight, nothing, no family, nothing. It's really not over until you die. If we're keeping it 1,000% honest, when you die, that's when it's over. That's when you're cooked. If you're still alive, you're still breathing, you're still healthy, it is not over for you. There are chances and opportunities out here to take for yourself. And also, not just falling away from friends or being more lonelier, there's things out there, people that you still have yet to meet that you might vibe with very, very well. You could join a club. For example, I be seeing a lot of running clubs popping up. Not saying that's what you are into, but there's many different types of resources or clubs out here of people that have like-minded hobbies or interests that you could join, and you could make new whole totally different friends, sometimes friends that you might even get along with or like better than your old friends through that. And that's a whole new social network or connections right there. So don't look at this like, yo, it's over, I'm so cooked. I'm just so tired of seeing it. Like, no, like, keep progressing, keep advancing. When you die, yeah, that's when it's over. That's when you're cooked. That's when you're truly cooked. But if you're still breathing, like I just took a deep breath right there, you're still breathing like that, you are fine. You still have so much more to you, so much more potential. Don't get down or look down on yourself. You need to believe in something. Even if you feel like there's nothing to live for, there's something out there. There definitely truly is something out there that you can latch to and that will make you have a drive for life and encouragement. So yeah, look around you. If you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, stop, breathe, look at the sides of the tunnels. I'm willing to bet you might see a light, a candle, a beam, a lamp, a lantern, something. There's something there. You just got to slow down your mind and look for it, and you'll find something.